afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Adrian forecast. Welcome back to the video, guys. This is going to be another update on the severe weather moving into the southern plains, into the Midwest, and eventually actually going to end up into the Northeast. So I'm going to be covering all those areas in the country that will possibly get hit by severe weather in the next couple of days as we go actually even into the Friday area. And so yeah, so let's get started with the video. Alright, so these are the general areas that are really going to get affected by this. So it's actually going to start to affect actually parts of the upper plains. If you don't believe me, it's because they're really going to get that rain, the backstorm of it, and then we're going to have the worst of it right now in parts of the south central part of the country. The worst of it's going to be south of the Oklahoma City area, near that Wichita, or near the south eastern part. Sorry, more like of the south central part of Oklahoma. We have severe thunderstorm warning, but no tornado no tornado warnings yet. And then we got tornado watches in effect for the Oklahoma City and for parts of the southern part of Oklahoma. And then in these bright green colors, right in these circles right here, we do have flood warnings. So that's where we can really have the most amount of rain in the next couple of days. And then we have some flood watches in these dark green colors in effect for some parts of the northern part of Oklahoma, parts of Missouri, Montana, and all the way into Montana. And then we have wind advisory that's really going to bring a lot of rain with the system. So let's go ahead and go in the video into the so those are the active alerts. Just check out the southeast now. So we're going to just go a couple hours in. It's about 4 hours in, so that's going to be around 7 o'clock in parts of this area. So it's really going to be quite dark, and we're really going to have some really strong storms form in the south central, or the central part of Oklahoma, just a couple miles east of the Oklahoma City. Really going to have some really strong storms start to develop there, and then we're going to have some outer bands that start to form above, so you can actually get some little rain showers before you get hit by the major band. And then we go really more into the 9 to 10 p.m. o'clock, or in between 9 and midnight in the central time. We're really going to have a band that really starts to form up out of nowhere with this moisture. Really going to bring in some really strong bands for the Illinois and Missouri area. And then we're going to have those that band that formed in Oklahoma is going to start to split into this band and then this smaller little area. This will be more the worst of it yet, but we can have some really strong areas, maybe some 1 or 2 possible multi-cell storms in that small little area, and then some possible really strong winds. And then we go more into the really early hours tomorrow. We're really going to have some really bands start to develop, and it's going to stay in the south central into the parts of the Midwest. So it's really going to cover a lot of areas, really strong storms actually near that Tulsa area. Really powerful storms possible, EF2 tornadoes. And then it's going to bring some this band, so we're going to have these 2 bands start to connect a bit all the way from the Indianapolis area, and they really start to connect right here. So it's really going to be quite a large band stretching from the southeastern part of Colorado all the way into the Indiana area, Ohio Valley. So we're going to have the strongest of those bands into the northern part of Oklahoma, and then right here near the part of the southern part of Illinois. And then so that's as we go on to tomorrow, and then we go a couple more hours into the evening or the afternoon hours, and into tomorrow we're gonna have some strong bands north of Dodge into the central part of Texas, and then we're gonna have a lot of rain showers that are left out into parts of the Texas area, and then we're gonna have another band that starts to form into parts of this part of Kansas too. Alright, so now we go into the Midwest area. We're really going to have those strong bands, as we said, more into tomorrow. But really more into late tonight, and then tomorrow, it's really going to start to pour tonight into parts of the St. Louis, near the St. Louis area. Really going to have some really strong bands in there. Really going to have some really powerful rain, and also some really strong bands. And then possibly is having some severe weather actually near the Chicago area. And then currently we're going to have some strong bands actually near the Pennsylvania area. You really see that there. And then we go on, and then it's really going to bring some strong storms in that southwestern part of Indiana. You usually don't see that much of, or that bad of severe weather there yet, but really going to bring some strong weather, and then also more into that south central part of Illinois. And then as we go. It's gonna go into the northeast quickly. All right, so now let's go to the northeast now. So we're gonna go in the next couple hours. It's gonna bring some really strong. We're gonna have those strong bands in the front of it for the Cleveland and Erie, Pennsylvania area. Really powerful storms there. Most likely some pea-sized hail. Most likely we won't have those huge hails or strong winds. And then we're gonna have some rain showers or some little bands stick up north of the Pittsburgh area. We're gonna have those stick around. And tomorrow we're gonna have those, and then as we go more into the Thursday and late Thursday, we're gonna have some more rain in effect for parts of the New York and Pennsylvania area, and then we're gonna have some possible severe bands in effect or in parts of the New York area, and then for parts of the Pennsylvania area. But it's gonna be most likely some really small bands, but could be really severe actually. So this is what it's looking like for today. Really strong bands in this general area from the near the Chicago area all the way to the Oklahoma City area. But we have a slight chance in effect from the Ohio Valley into the Midwest and South Central. So we have a population of 28 million. We have Chicago all the way to Columbus, all the way to Milwaukee, all the way to Wichita. Really a lot of the United States in there. And then we have quite a really thin, slight chance, which means it's really going to be compact in that one area. Sorry, guys. We're going to have a population of 11 million people in that slight chance. We're going to have Kansas City, Missouri, Aurora, Illinois, Overland Park, Kansas, Springfield, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. So that's where we can have that slight chance. And then in the enhanced risk we have, or in the Oklahoma City, Norman, Columbia, Broken Arrow, and Edmond areas, we have the enhanced risk. So that's where you can have some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, really gusty winds. And then the moderate risk is going to have the highest chance today in a really big city in there that's dealt with a lot of tornadoes. You guys are probably going to be like, we're going to have Joplin, Missouri in there, guys. We all remember the Joplin tornado. Guys, it's really not gonna be the exact same thing, guys, but they can probably, when they get hit by this, they can probably remember the Joplin tornado, how it was kind of like this. But for those people near the Tulsa and Joplin area, really gonna feel like they're in the same place when the tornado struck. And then we have Bartsville, Owasso, and Sedalia, Missouri. But yeah, that's where we're gonna have the most severe weather. And then we go to tomorrow. That's where we're going to have that severe weather into the northeast, guys. So that's what I was talking about. But again, you're probably wondering, enhanced risk, but it was really small bands. Well, yeah, for the northeast, they don't get those huge strong bands. Or actually they do, but most likely it's not the most thing that usually happens there. But they're going to have some really small bands, though, but that can be really severe. So the size of the band does not really matter. It's what's going to be in that band. So you can have a slight chance for Philadelphia, Columbus, Ohio, Washington, D.C., and Buffalo, New York. You usually don't see Buffalo in there. We're going to have Erie, too, and just the edge of Cleveland. And then that's a population of 31 million. And then we have that, you guys saw where that radar how those bands connected over there tomorrow, or in the radar how we saw it tomorrow, it started to connect. That's where you can see that marginal. And we have a population of 46 million in this marginal, so we have a lot of people in a lot of states in effect, all the way from that Syracuse area all the way to the El Paso area. So we have Kansas City, Cleveland, Omaha, Indianapolis, and New York. And then we have the enhanced risk for 2 separate areas. I usually don't see an enhanced risk in the northeast as early, but again, guys, the climate or the pattern has really changed with these low pressure systems in the west. But we're going to have Reading, Pennsylvania. We're going to have in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Baltimore. And then we're going to have an enhanced risk for we're going to have the Ellicott City in Maryland, too. And then we're going to have Amarillo, Texas. And then we're going to have other areas for the Dodge City we're going to have in there. And then some other towns in the western Oklahoma area. And then we're going to have a marginal risk in effect, but for many areas from the Chicago area all the way to the Wichita and Oklahoma City. And then we're going to have a slight chance in effect for parts of the Midwest and parts of the plains. We're going to have Rockford, Illinois, Kansas City, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, Aurora, Illinois, and Kansas City, Missouri again. And then we would go into the precipitation. So we're not just going to have a severe weather threat. We're also going to have a flooding threat in effect. So let's check out the flooding threat. Sorry guys, I'm not sure why this had to do that. So we're not going to go all the way into like next week because it's not really going to last that long. So it's really going to end Saturday, guys. Not because we're going to have a system right after this one, but we're going to focus on this one itself. So it's going to end around Saturday as it goes into the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going to have a good amount of rain near where we have that enhanced risk. We're going to have a good amount of rain near that Amarillo area. We're going to have up to 2.5 inches there, and then a good amount south of the Madison area. We have a good 2 inches there, and then some separate areas. We're going to have some really scattered areas with some scattered amounts of rain. A lot of areas. Some areas can get 2 inches. Some around it can just get 1. Some can just get 0. And then we're not going to have a bunch of precip as it's going to be in the, or we're not going to have a bunch of precip in the northeast. It's going to be very scattered bands and not really, it's going to be very complex. Alright, let's get to the Cape now. This will be the last thing we check out. It's really going to be high for near that Memphis area. So the Memphis area is going to have that 2,800, and just west of it we have some 5,100. We have some really low 5,000s, and then Little Rock going to be one of its highest peaks so far, 4,300. Just south we have 4,700, and near that Tulsa and Oklahoma City we have some very high 4,000s. Let's go to 11 p.m. tomorrow. So 11 p.m. tomorrow, it's going to be the highest amounts will be in those mid to low 4,000s in that Texas area, and then we're going to have a very high amount in that southern part of Missouri. We're going to have 4,100, and then 4,000. So let me get to let's get to 11 a.m. So we're going to have some really high numbers actually in that near that Indianapolis area. We're going to have some 3,300. We're going to have 3,300. We're going to have 3,800 near that eastern part of Illinois. And you guys don't really see these high numbers up into the north. We have some 3,400 just north of Pittsburgh, or just out the Erie. We have 3,200. You usually don't see these numbers yet up there in that north area yet, but it's going to be again very rare. And now we're going to have some really, where these bands start to go together tomorrow. You're really going to see it too with the Cape. That's really going to start to go across the country, and we even saw that with the radar. We saw that with the precip amount, and we saw that with the margin risk. So we're seeing a lot how it's going to be put together. We have 4,600, 4,900. We have some very high 4,000s near that Amarillo area, and then we're going to have those high numbers stretch. We're going to have some really low 4,000s, and then some more low 4,000s into the plains, and then more high numbers, actually really high numbers in the south of the St. Louis area. We're going to have 4,600, 4,300, 3,700, and then we're going to have some really high 4,000s near that Amarillo area, and then by that it's going to start to calm down a bit, and we go to Friday. It's not going to be super crazy. It's going to have some mid to 2,000s. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys in the next video, and bye.